Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the basics of Adobe Illustrator. I'm using Adobe Illustrator CC 2017, and at the beginning we'll be creating a new file. When you create a new file, you find many document types. For example, the mobile type, it gives you the sizes of the smartphones or the tablets. For example, you have the iPhone, the iPad, and the color mode for the mobile will be RGB because it looks different than the one that you print. Here we have for the web, and it is RGB as well. The Adobe Illustrator CC 2017 gives you some free templates that you can use. You have documents for a print. If you are printing the illustration, or for example, creating a logo that will be printed out, you have different sizes, and as you can see, the color mode will be different than the web one. It will be CMYK, and this color shows better while printing. Also, you have the film and video, and this is good if you're creating an illustration that you will be using for animating or using it like for Premiere Pro, and the art and illustration for postcards, posters, and also it gives you some free templates. So I will be using the letter document. So I'll create a letter document. So the first thing that I am going to explain, the first thing that I am going to show you is the shapes that you can use in Adobe Illustrator. So I already created a template, but you can use an old template to work on by clicking on open, or you can open a picture if you wanted to image trace or something by clicking new template. So let's get started. Now I'll create some shapes, very basic and easy shapes. In the menu bar, you can see that you have a lot of different shapes. So I'll create a square using this shape and some more shapes. The hexagon, or I can create a circle. When I created the circle, it does not give me a perfectly rounded shape, but I can click on Shift and then drag the mouse and it will give me a perfect circle. As you can see, the shapes are on top of each other. Like the first square, the rectangular, the hexagon, the circle, all of them are on top of each other. For example, if I want to take this shape, on the top of them, I go to Arrange, Bring to Front, and it will be moved in front of the shapes. Now I'm going to color the shapes. You can choose whatever color you like. For example, I'll go with the green for this one, and for the circle, like I don't want it to have a color, I just want it to have a border, so you can add a border and choose the thickness that you like, whether you like it a thick border or a light border. So I'll color all the shapes, and this is a very simple basic things that you have to know when first working with Adobe Illustrator. So basically, if you are someone that has never tried working on Illustrator, or like if you worked before but you're not sure how to use the basic stuff, this video will be very helpful for you. So now I have my shapes colored and all in one layer. It's all in one layer, but I can click on each shape to hide it or to lock the shape. So I'm locking all the shapes. Now I can't move it or do anything else with it. And make sure every time you work on something specific, please lock the other shapes so you won't ruin your work. Now I created a new layer just by clicking on the add a new layer that is in the bottom. Now we will be using the pen tool. When you double click on the pen tool, make sure that you are choosing the pen tool, not the add anchor point or delete anchor point. So the pen tool is basically to create lines that is free paths, and basically to draw using lines. So now I'm clicking on the shift key and creating the lines. When I click on the shift key, it gives me a very straight line. Next, I'm adding paths so I can play around with the shape. So for example, here I'm adding some path and dragging. So you just play around with the shape. It's a really easy way to use Illustrator for beginners. If you practice with shapes, you will find that it's very easy and a fun way. For example, now I'll create a shape that has curves. So basically, when you click and add a point, don't leave the mouse, just click on it and drag, click and drag, and here you will be creating sort of curved lines. For the Add Anchor Point tool, it's a tool that you can add anchors if you like to. Okay, so you add anchor point and delete the anchor point if you have a lot of points that you don't need, or you wanted to make it less curvy. So as I deleted the anchor point, the curve disappeared. So you just play around with the shape, and this is a way that you can use to image trace, and you can see our image tracing tutorial to learn how to image trace. For the line tool, it's basically what it is. It does just lines, and yeah, nothing more. And it's a good way if you want to just draw lines. Next, I'll be showing you the pencil tool. The pencil tool is a good tool for like writing, drawing, depends on what you want to do. For example, you can write down using the pencil tool. So I'll write something using the pencil. You can control the thickness and the color of the pencil. Also, you can change the definition of the pencil. For example, like you have here arrows and sort of like a brush, and you can play around with the opacity. The less is the lighter, more is the darker. So you have also the paintbrush tool, and it's just for painting, drawing, and it works really well if you have the drawing tablet. The drawing tablet is a really nice, a really nice and easy way to draw in Illustrator, because by then you will be connecting your tablet to your computer and using the pen. You're using a pen to draw, so it's easier than using a mouse. And of course, the eraser tool, and make sure to lock all your layers that you don't want it to be erased. Like for example, here I have only one layer that is unlocked, so the eraser won't erase my work. It will just erase the part that is unlocked. So as you can see here, I can't erase anything else because everything is locked. I only erased the layer that was unlocked. So for example here, I'm unlocking 2 layers. I can erase it, but I can't erase anything else. So yeah, that's for the basics of the shape, pen tool, pencil tool, and the brush tool. For the brushes, you can have a lot of different brushes in the library. For example, you have arrows, borders, vector packs, and decorative brushes. For example, for the floral brushes, and you have a very different shapes as well. For example, vines, if you're drawing a tree or a flower, you have all of this in the brushes library. It's a really fun program that if you spend time playing around, you will learn it very fast, very easy, very fun. For example, you have here flowers. You just draw lines and it will draw for you flowers. You also have arrows, different brush sizes, borders, and there's a lot of things that you can do using Adobe Illustrator. It's not it's not it's not just for illustration, um, but there is a lot you can do with it. So next I'll create a new layer to work on. So I'll hide everything and I'll create a new layer. I'll lock my previous layer. So now we will talk about the type tool. For typing, you have a lot of options. You have vertical typing, typing on a path. You have area type tool. So just this is a very simple way to type, just a normal type box. You change the size. For example, here I'll change the font. You have a lot of fonts as well. You can download any font that you like, and Adobe Illustrator supports a lot of fonts that is downloaded from the internet. So this is just a simple type tool. For example, the vertical type tool. Sorry. Okay, let me close this one. So for example, the vertical type tool that types vertically. So let's see. Okay. And you have the type on a path tool. I'll show you how it works. So basically you should have a path at first to type on. So I'll take my pen tool and I'll draw something. Okay, let me lock this one first. Okay, so I'll draw a line or like a shape. Okay, for example, For example, I have like an arch, and let me do it just a border without a color, without a filling. So now I'll take my type on a path tool, and I'll just click on my path, and here we go, we have the text going around the shape, and it will go all around. For example, let me write more. As you can see, it goes around with the path of the shape that I have, or that I have drawn. So next I'll show you how to, this is the last thing that I will be talking about. Here I'm drawing a shape, and I have my swatches on the right. I can fill it with different colors, but also I have swatches library. So for example, this is basic colors and just plain colors, but also I can fill it with patterns. There is a lot of patterns that I can fill my shapes with. So I have the swatches library that has a lot of different things. For example, here it's ancient history, and it gives me all the swatches that goes with the ancient history themes or art. So each swatches are named after something. So for example, you can have different patterns. For example, you can have the animal skin, and it gives you different animal skin. For example, zebra, turtle, and tiger, a lot of different natural animal skin patterns. There is basic graphics, for example, textures. You have the basic graphic textures like lines, dots, and different stuff. There is skin tone swatches that you can use if you're like illustrating a person, or it's really easy to find colors that you need in the swatches library. Neutral colors, and for example, kid stuff, you have like kid stuff swatches, like the colors that goes with the kids. Like for example, if you're creating a kids poster, fruits, for example, you will find a lot of different swatches for almost everything you need, and it makes your life easier when searching for a certain color for your work, because everything is named under something. For example, the gradient tool, you can use the gradient tool, and you can move the line to move the gradient. You can rotate it, and that's it. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned, and don't forget to take the test. You will find it below the video, and thank you very much.